I'm Steve Durbin, and I'm the Vice President with the Information Security Forum. I'm here today with Greg Novak. Greg is one of our principal research analysts based in the New York office, and also one of the primary authors of the latest report that we've produced on BYOD, called Managing BYOD Risk. Greg, tell us a little bit about the report and the topics that have been covered.
Well, first of all, we talk about what the current state of BYOD is in the market, how many organizations are adopting it, what adoption looks like, what devices people are choosing, and how it's becoming a business issue for large organizations today. And then we also have an implementation guide that tells you how to set up a BYOD program in your organization, and a tool that supports the guide and tells you all the things you should be checking off just to make sure that you're managing risk for BYOD.
Excellent. It sounds pretty all-encompassing, really. Tell me a little bit more about the BYOD as a business risk issue.
Well, what we found is that a lot of organizations are being rushed into adopting BYOD, sometimes by senior management. We hear stories about CEOs giving everyone on the board of directors an iPad and saying, we're going to use these now. And information security isn't often brought into the picture, or is brought in too late, and there isn't sufficient consideration being given to the risks associated with using personal devices in the business context. And different user communities have different applications they want to be using. All of the risks of business IT are suddenly being transferred to personal devices that people relate to differently. And this opens up a whole new set of problems for information security.
You mentioned that it's moving to becoming much more of a risk-based issue. How do we cover that off in the report? Because risk management is a massive topic.
Well, as you know, the Information Security Forum has its information risk analysis methodology, IRAM, which we recommend using to manage BYOD risk as well as other forms of risk. And we outline a risk-based approach to BYOD. First of all, we advise our members to adopt an information-centric approach. Early on in the uptake of BYOD, some organizations tried to look at devices. They would use whitelists of certain devices that were approved. But as we know, the consumer market for devices is developing so rapidly. There are always new devices, new platforms. It's impossible to keep up with. So we advise our members to look at their information first, classify their information. In fact, we talk about using what's called a functional information classification. Rather than just different levels of sensitivity, look at which pieces of information are being used, how they're being used by which groups, so you get a finer grain classification, and then use that classification to drive risk management on the devices.
So quite a practically driven report then is what we've produced here.
It's very practically driven. We give specific recommendations about what risk management measures to introduce, how to classify information, and points of sensitivity, because you don't have as many control options on personally owned devices as you do on organizationally owned devices. So we also provide some guidance on technical solutions like mobile device management systems and virtualization approaches to help readers of the report determine what solutions they might be able to use in their organizations.
That's great. So what would be the top key takeaways from the report then, Greg?
First of all, you need to get out ahead of BYOD, because it's an issue that's not going to go away, and organizations are adopting it one way or another. In fact, we've seen some they've discovered rogue BYOD instances where individuals have managed to hook up their own devices to corporate networks without approval. So definitely start a program to address BYOD. Get a risk management approach for BYOD. It should be information-centric rather than device-centric, and look at the technical controls you can still use to manage the user base, because users are going to behave differently with their personal devices, even when they're using them for work. And risk management of BYOD needs to address that.
And BYOD, of course, is not a topic that's going to go away anytime soon.
Not at all.
Thank you very much for that, Greg, for giving us those insights. The Managing BYOD Risk report is available now for download from the ISF store. So go to www.securityforum.org for more information and download the report.